What's up, ACL Nation? We are talking all about the 2020 National College Cornhole Championship today. We're going to talk about that schedule and the events that you want to watch. And we're going to welcome Director of the ACL College Program, Bernie Nabors. This is the ACL Throwdown. Yes, I said ACL Nation. Bernie Nabors, Director of the ACL College Program, is going to be on the show this week. But first, my hashtag Trey's Takes. Sticking with the college vibe, let's talk about that 2020 National College Cornhole Championship and run through the schedule. 3 days of nonstop college cornhole action starting on Thursday, December 31st at 4 p.m. That'll run all the way through the end of the day on the 2nd in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at the Myrtle Beach Sports Center, host hotel being the Sheraton right next door. It is going to be an incredible event, and I can't wait to bring you ESPN action all weekend long alongside Jeff McCarriger. On that first day, Thursday, December 31st, we'll kick things off with a bang. At 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2, we will bring you live coverage of the ACL Pro ACL College Invitational. If you remember 2 years ago, we did this exact same event. Jay Dotson and Anthony Kissel, who is now an ACL Pro, competed in that event, and it was a ton of fun to watch. Last year, we had the alumni version of this event, Timmy Jonas playing with Brittany Emge. They took down that win. A lot of fun that time. So we're going to repeat it. We're going to have 8 ACL pros competing alongside 8 college players. And one thing that we're really excited about is this year, every single ACL pro competitor in that event will be female. So stay tuned for the release and the announcement of who those 8 female players are going to be. But I'll tell you what, there's going to be some tough talent and some big name champions in that event. $10,000 on the line for that event, only for the college students in the form of scholarship money. The ACL pros will have their own opportunities to win some money later in the weekend. So 4 p.m. we'll have that 2-hour broadcast. Immediately following that event, at 6 p.m. we'll kick off both the open doubles and the college doubles. So the open doubles, hey, anybody can show up and anybody can play. If you want to go down to Myrtle Beach, spend the weekend with us, pay $100 and play in a top tier doubles event, you are more than welcome to do so. Alongside that, we'll have our college doubles. That is the $25,000 event. The scholarship money up for grabs there. It will be, again, that progressive round robin, that ACL Rounders format. They'll play a series of games which will seed all of the college teams into a single elimination bracket. We're going to play all the way down to the final 8 teams in that event, and we will hold those 8 teams for the broadcast on Sunday, which I'll get to in a second. The next day, New Year's Day, January 1st, we'll kick things off with college singles bright and early in the morning. College singles, again, that ACL Rounders format. They'll play a number of Rounders games, seeding them into a single elimination bracket. And that single elimination bracket will play through in the evening on ESPN3 and the ACL Digital Network, a simulcasted event. $15,000 on the line in scholarship money for that event. Simultaneous to all this, at 1 p.m. Eastern that day, the ACL pros will be competing in their own $10,000 ACL swap contest. We'll have the ACL Score Zone available for you to keep up with all those games. Finally, on the last day, day 3, January 2nd, we'll kick off some blind draws bright and early in the morning. We'll have one for everybody, an open blind draw, if you will. Anybody can compete, and then one specifically for the college students. That'll just be a $20 blind draw to sign up and earn money that specific day. And then we'll wrap up the entire weekend with the broadcast, that ESPN broadcast of the college doubles event at 2 p.m. Eastern. We will tape that event to air later that evening, currently slated for 7 p.m. on Sunday on ESPN2. We'll let you know if that schedule changes. Going to be a great weekend. We hope you're tuning in, and if you're watching this as a college student, we want you to be involved. Or maybe we just want you to start building your own cornhole club at your own university. The perfect person to talk about that and how to do that is none other than Mr. Bernie Nabors, who I have this week on the show. Let's get to my conversation with Bernie Nabors, and he continue to hype up this National College Cornhole Championship and talk about the growth at the collegiate level. What is up, ACL Nation? I got the ACL College director, the man in front of ACL College, and also the legend behind the mic, Mr. Bernie Nabors. Bernie, you've been with the ACL longer than me, and this is your first time on the ACL Throwdown. How does it feel?
Well, when you see the screen, everyone will understand why. I'm good. How are you?
I love it. I love it. Well, Bernie, thanks for taking some time. There's a lot of people, I think the college brand is something that we've kind of, limped along with for the past 2 years. But really this year I felt like is one that we've put a lot of effort into, and we put a lot of driving force behind it. Had some, ups and downs, if you will, just, mostly I'd say because of COVID, but it's really something that I think we've expanded upon. So, if we kind of go back in time a little bit, kind of in the spring of 2020, and as we started to formulate the vision for ACL College, what were we looking to do this year? And given everything that went on, did we kind of accomplish that?
If you go back to a pre-COVID era, one of the things we wanted to start was a college cornhole council. I think that's what we'll discuss that here in the future, in a couple of seconds. We wanted to get students involved with college cornhole. We wanted to start establishing clubs across campuses nationwide. We wanted to spread, obviously the brand of ACL to not just our pros. Look, our pros go down to 10 years of age, right? But there are kids out there that want to play, they want to learn, but they've also want to go to college and they want to do that. So we wanted to get those kids involved. So when they do graduate and they do have time and they do want to still stay involved with the ACL, we're giving them a platform while they're in school to stay involved. And then once they come out, it's an easier road into the ACL. I think that was the genesis of it. And look, from an ACL perspective, we want a college cornhole. We want an ACL club on every college campus in America, period. That's our goal.
Yeah, I think that's great. So, the club design, if you will, or the idea of starting clubs, that was something that we kind of flirted with last season. And we kind of had a couple, betas, if you will, across the country, kind of different starting points as far as getting clubs established across the country. But, we've had a few more this season kind of sign up. I think the University of Colorado is doing a really good job with, what are some of the other schools and what are they doing when they're establishing these clubs?
Well, since you bring up Colorado, I'll go ahead and mention Matthew Linneman. He's the president of that club. He's also the president of our College Cornhole Council. But he's, you've got kids that are really involved. They love the sport. Every school, every tournament director, there's that person, male, female, whomever it is, that's just active. They want other people around them to like what they like, right? And so what we found is that there are kids on so many college campuses around the country that love the sport of cornhole just like we do. And, they've seen it on television. They want to get involved. And so, they talk to their to the folks, within campus rec. It usually starts as an intramural sport because, with every sport around the country, when you go through campus rec, you usually need a semester or a full year, proving that you can get kids to come and play and that you are diligent enough to make it happen. And then the clubs will kind of come and the schools will put money behind it. Colorado, as you mentioned earlier, that's a fully funded club by the University of Colorado.
That's fully amazing.
Right. So that's what it takes. But it takes a person like that says, oh, I want to do that. Who do I talk to? And then we'll get an email. And then I will get that email forwarded to me. I will look at that email. I'll respond to the person and say, Mr., Mrs., whomever, Miss, I should say. Probably aren't many misses out there in college. But anyway, this, whomever, thanks for reaching out. What is it that you want to do? without question, they're like, look, we want to join a club. I've got 10 people I know want to play. We could probably get 30. What do we have to do? And then since we've created the College Cornhole Council, Matthew Linneman being the president, I say, look, Matthew's done it. He's got 120 kids at the University of Colorado.
Which is amazing, by the way. Amazing.
Right. Any club. Find triple digits in any club in college, and it's the biggest club there, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it's amazing what he's done. When he's talked to, the kids. I mean, I could go through a list of the Power Five if you'd like. I mean, there's literally a burgeoning club or a club at pretty much every Power Five school. What I've found and what's really encouraging are the smaller schools.
Right.
Or I shouldn't say smaller schools, the schools with less recognition, if you will.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Clubs are just blowing up. I mean, we're in a birth process. I mean, really, we're in the genesis of what we're doing with ACL College. Obviously this will be our third college championships that'll be aired over New Year's, but I mean, literally that's so early.
So early.
Yeah. I mean, and so we're trying to create something from the ground up, and the fact that we found these kids across the country is really encouraging, and we're super excited about the direction we're going.
Yeah, because I think, the past 2 years it's been, all right, we just have this event. Right. Let's just try to get people to show up to the event. And there's certainly an element of that this year, but I think more of the reason for that this season is because of COVID, and we haven't had a lot of the different qualification processes that we normally or that we wanted to do.
Sure.
But this season it felt, at least to me, more that we had almost not maybe a season, but there was effort put into establishing these different clubs and these different organizations, and having the representatives from those clubs eventually show up to those national championships.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back at last year, I mean, obviously we had some great partners. We were able to go on a tour. We were all over the Southeast and Midwest. Right. Went to a lot of schools, had some qualifying tournaments. We had, like I said, great sponsors that helped us along in that respect. So it was a snowball effect into last year's championship, right? So we were really psyched about where we were heading this year with that. And then COVID dropped a bomb. Right. So that, obviously there's only so much we could do. I mean, gosh, how many schools didn't even have kids in class? Everything was online this year. So, for example, we've got kids that will participate in this year's national championship that won via our virtual tournaments that Matthew Linneman once again helped, create. So it's, what we've had to go through this year. In a way, I'm actually more excited about our direction, because the fact that we're going to have similar numbers to last year, with COVID dropping a bomb on us this year and our inability to reach kids like we were able to last year. I mean, we were literally able to get out and touch college students last year all across the country. Right. This year, it's, we're contacting schools, but look, we know how that works. It's hard when all you're doing is emailing and hitting someone up on social media. I mean, yes, it works, but it's super hard if that's all you can do. Right. Yeah, and I think. And the fact that we're looking at similar numbers this year to last year, and the growth that we're looking at, talking to Matt again, he's, two schools, for example, that have come up over and over again, Notre Dame and Oklahoma State. These guys are like, they're trying to find schools anywhere next to them where they can play against. Right. Yeah. It becomes some type of rivalry. Those guys create create clubs, so on and so forth. So I don't know. I get on tangents, but anyway, I'm considering the bomb that got dropped on us this year with COVID. I'm super excited about where we're headed with our clubs and what's going to happen at this year's championships. I couldn't agree more. You said it best. I think you've done a great job this year. I'm glad we have you've given it direction this year, which has been different. I think we kind of piecemealed it in years past, and you being a driver of it this year, I think is really what's certainly helped with it. Let me interrupt you there. I want to say that I would love to take credit for it. I would love it. I would love to take credit for it. I can't at all. I mean, I think I found, a few kids that really believe in what we're doing. And I think those kids have really driven it, to be honest. And I'm pretty. I mean, if I'm proud of anything, is the fact that I chose those kids.
Hey, that's choosing. Well, that's a mark of a good leader, is being able to choose people that do the good work, right?
That's better than me.
Exactly. ACL College director, man of the ACL College brand. So, Bernie, all right, last thing. This National College Cornhole Championship, I mentioned it to you before the call, and I think we have similar feelings here, but Austin Slowbaum comes in probably as a pretty heavy favorite for this championship. So I'll give it to you. You got Slowbaum or the field? So who you taking?
Look, I know Austin a little bit. I've seen him the last 2 years. Look, Branton Oliver's back, another champion.
Yeah, he's a 17-year senior.
Yeah, right. The guy's older than me, and he's still playing in the ACL. No, but he is a quality player. Look, one player that I want to see, honestly, that I've heard a lot about via social media, Cornhole Blaine. I know you're out there. Auburn University, what's up?
TikTok phenom.
To see how he performs in a competitive environment.
Yeah.
Obviously, the videos he makes, the trick shots, awesome. But I'm interested to see how he does in a competitive environment. But yeah. If you're asking me Austin Slowbaum versus the field, I don't know. That's going to be tough. It's tough to beat Austin.
It's going to be tough to beat Austin. Bernie, thank you so much. I appreciate the time. I hope this gets everybody kind of excited for this ACL College, National College Cornhole Championship. If you're interested, Bernie at iPlayCornhole.com. That's where you want to go for all things college. Reach out, whether you want to start an intramural sport, you want to go to a full club, or you're just possibly interested in getting to the national.
Come to me, my cornhole friends.
There you go. All right, Bernie, thanks so much. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Trey.
Oh, Bernie Nabors, a legend behind the mic. I enjoy Bernie's company in the commentary booth, as well as working together on this National College Cornhole Championship. Thank you, Bernie, for your time this week. And like we've been talking about, if you are a college student interested in competing in the 2020 National College Cornhole Championship in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina on New Year's weekend, you want to go to iPlayACL.com/college and check out the Contact Us form. Reach out to Mr. Bernie Nabors to get signed up, whether it's singles and doubles, whatever it is. Compete for your school, earn some scholarship money, and hey, an opportunity to compete on ESPN. That's all the time that we got this week for the American Cornhole League. This has been your host, Trey Ryder. We'll see you guys next week.